Hey guys, my name is Attorney Walter Not the Third. I'm with Disability Resolution PA, and what we're going to be looking at today is what can Biden really financially do going forward to bolster Social Security disability benefits, retirement benefits, widows benefits, all the benefits under the SSA. And before we go into that, this is really shaping into a question of, well, how poor do we want our disabled? How poor do we want our retired to be, right? Do we have the money to go ahead and basically bolster? You know, we were talking about, well, Warren, Schumer, we're all talking about basically increasing the benefits by $200 for a 2-year period per month, equating to about, a little chunk of money over that 2 years. Here's the problem. Let's talk. So, you can increase benefits, right, when there's money and there's more money coming in and things are good. When the trust funds are full of money, right? But there's a problem. Quote, Johnson was hopeful, however, that Congress will take notice of the need for reform once Social Security starts paying out more in benefits than it takes in revenue starting this year. It's going to add to the budget deficit for the first time, Social Security benefits, he said, and so that will certainly make Congress take notice. So we're talking about people paying into the trust funds for the Social Security benefits. Then we go to the summary of the 2020 annual reports. The projections and analysis in these reports do not reflect the potential effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the Social Security and Medicare programs. Given the uncertainty associated with these impacts, the trustees believe that it is not possible to adjust their estimates accurately at this time. So what are their estimates? Their estimates are that basically around 2035, the Social Security / Medicare mega super ultra trust funds, right, the trusts, will run out. They will run out, and then people will basically get paid a percentage of what they could traditionally get paid from what they paid into, which seems unfair, and I understand that. Let's talk about that. So if we knew that originally they knew that they were going to run out in 2035, and now, due to the whole COVID pandemic, we now know that they're not willing to give us new estimates. There's a problem, because we know that we are not able to get the full estimate analysis as to when it will run out. Okay, let's read the next paragraph. Social Security and Medicare both face long-term financing shortfalls under currently scheduled benefits and financing. So under our current programs, there's a very big problem because it will run out of money. And then you're thinking, well, they'll just fill it back up again. There's a problem with that too. Both programs will experience cost growth substantially in excess GDP growth through the mid-2030s due to rapid population aging. Medicare also sees its share of GDP growth through the late 2070s due to increase in the volume and intensity of services provided based on our best estimates. And that's what the report shows. Then it starts to go through the actual analysis of it. Now, I don't know if you guys know what these trust funds are. There's a key little section in here, and you got to know what they are before I go forward more with this video. What are the trust funds? Congress established trust funds managed by the Secretary of the Treasury to account for Social Security and Medicare income and disbursements. The Treasury credits Social Security and Medicare taxes, premiums, and other income to the funds. These are 4 separate trust funds. For Social Security, the OASI Trust Fund pays retirement survivors benefits, and the DI Trust Fund pays disability benefits. For Medicare, the HI Trust Fund pays for Part A inpatient, hospital, and related care. The SMI Trust Fund comprises 2 separate accounts, Part B, which pays for physicians and outpatient services, and Part D, which covers prescription drug benefits. The only disbursements permitted from the funds are benefit payments and administrative expenses. Federal law requires that all excess funds be invested in interest-bearing securities backed by the full faith and credit of the United States. The Department of the Treasury currently invests all programs, revenues, and special non-marketable securities of the U.S. government, which earn interest equal to rates on marketable securities with durations defined in law. The balances in the trust funds, which represent the accumulated value, including interest of all prior programs, annual surpluses, and deficits, provide automatic authority to pay benefits. But there's a problem. And the problem is that all of a sudden now, what people are paying in is not going to be enough, and it's going to actually be a negative. And what's happening now is that through this transition, we throw COVID in, a lot of people are going to be retiring early. A lot of people are going to be trying to basically get as much out of the benefit system as they can because their whole work environment, their whole career path has changed. So, if you have a bunch of people not earning money, working and paying into the system, what that means is that when you get a check from your employer, they already take out the taxes that are paid into these trust accounts. But if you're not getting that check because you're not working, that means the program that was set up originally on it going out of money in 2035 is no longer getting funded like it used to, which means there's a big problem. Let's check out some more fun facts. President Biden has some ideas as to what he would like to do about this. They are not inherently enough to fix the problem, which is why I'm going to read this to you first. So you already know the quote. It's going to add to the budget deficit for the first time, he said, and so that will certainly make Congress take notice. Okay, so we're aware that there's a big problem, and people are starting to say, whoa. Now, Democrats traditionally, and I'm not getting political here, but the most basic fundamental of Democrats in office is they tax. I'm going to read you some Investopedia stuff real quick. To be sure, it's an urgent and important matter. The trustees estimated in its most recent report that if policymakers take no further action, Social Security's combined old age and survivors insurance, that was the whole OASI, and disability insurance, SSDI, trust fund reserves will be depleted in 2035. We know it's going to be before that now. It would impose the 12.4% Social Security ASDI tax on income above $400,000. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to tax people who earn a lot more money with, all right, I don't know if you guys know how this works, but with taxes, some taxes, the more you earn, the more of a percentage they take. Some taxes, they'll tax you up to a certain amount of what you have earned, and then whatever you earn above that, you don't get taxed on that. This is one of those rules where basically if you essentially earned up to, $142,800, I'll just read you the paragraph and then I'll explain it. It would impose a 12.4% Social Security OASDI tax on income above $400,000. According to a report published on JD Supra, under current law, the Social Security OASDI tax, which is split equally between employers and employees, applies only with respect to income up to $142,800. So what we're doing is we're not just taxing income up to $142,000. We're now going to bump that up to $400,000 or potentially all the way up. Whatever you earn, they're going to tax that. Removal of the Social Security tax cap, right? So we're going to $400,000 and beyond. We're removing the tax cap. Cap $142,000. We'll go to $400,000. We're going to remove that. We're going to go all the way up. We're going to charge people who make money above that all the way with that particular tax. Let's see if this will fix our problem. Removal of the Social Security tax cap would be especially costly for self-employed, high-income individuals who bear both the employee and employer portion of the tax. As a result of the elimination of the cap, individuals residing in high tax states could be subject to a marginal tax rate exceeding 60%, which means those states will likely see a significant exodus. And I know all the jokes. Everybody knows the jokes. It costs, 3 times as much to move out of California with a U-Haul than it does to move into California with a U-Haul. We all know that. Okay, we all know that California and New York are having mass exodus. Okay, And that's from everybody. That's Republicans and Democrats. That's not just one particular group. So what's happening here is this. New York residents, they give an example. Current governor, everybody knows who he is currently thinking about increasing the income tax rate to 10.86%, up from 8.82%. That's a lot. That's a poorly run state financially. I'm not getting into the politics, but financially that's a poorly run state. Florida doesn't even have any of that. Anyway, proposed increasing the top New York State income tax rate to 10.86%, up from 8.82%. Elimination of the Social Security cap, combined with the proposed New York rate increase, could mean that some New York City residents will face a combined top marginal rate of almost 70% taxation. Imagine that! 70% taxation. Unfortunately, I do not see Biden doing a lot with Social Security in the near future. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you, and here's why. I am okay with being the bad guy who gives you the information that turns out to be what actually happens, and here's why. He's got to fix healthcare. He's got to fix the COVID situation. He's got to fix a lot of problems that are massive. This is a giant, mega Colorado mountain-to-mountain fire, but it hasn't spread all over the country yet. This is something that we need to address quickly. Because think about that. They're saying, hey, by 2035, the funds will run out. We know it's going to be before that now. Well, if it's 14 years out, I'm not too worried about it, right? We'll figure something out. If it's 10 years out, well, maybe I should start to really, there's a problem. But with COVID and everything that's going on with this, are the funds going to be there when we need them? Do they have the potential to tap into them? Do they have the potential to shift how the funds are being applied? Some rules might be changed. A lot of money might be printed. A bubble might occur. So I guess my point to you guys is this. Some of you guys are disabled and truly cannot work any aspect. Some of you can do a little job on the side. I, as an attorney who solely does Social Security disability benefits, even though I'm an attorney that could do all these different options with federal registration as well, I am really worried about people who are on Social Security benefits. Not just the disabled, I'm worried about everybody. I think that we're going to get a real shocker when they release the new annual report, because remember, we get to the end of 2021, they can't use the excuse of, well, we're not sure financially where we're at. They can't use that excuse again. I mean, they could try, but you get a video from me, a very pissed off video, very angry video, because that would be unfair to the American people to know where we're at. And right now what they've told us is they're not willing to tell us where we're at. And that's a problem. All right. I've spent enough time on this. That is the thing that I'm really worried about. That is the problem with not just if the funds will run out. The problem is when the funds will run out. And the problem is they're not telling us when the funds will run out. So if you have more direct questions, I can go through the rest of the report with you. But I am concerned. You should be concerned. Please go learn about it. This video is only meant to be an introduction to it, to kind of get you excited about the idea of figuring out what your plan B is going to be. All right. My name is Attorney Walter Knott. If you have questions about obtaining disability benefits, call me through the law firm. If you have other questions or want to tell me something, go ahead and catch up with me during the live between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard on YouTube every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Remember, Eastern. If you're Central, Mountain, Pacific, Alaska, Hawaii, you just subtract an hour as you go to the west. All right? Have an absolutely wonderful day. I'll catch you a little bit later, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.